The Chargers' biggest offensive need is clear. They need a true number one wide receiver. After losing Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, the team struggled to find consistency in the passing game. That's why Tee Higgins was seen as a potential game changer. If he hit free agency, the Chargers would have been one of the top contenders to sign him. But unfortunately for them, that now seems unlikely. Let's dive deep into this. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Tee Higgins, the standout wide receiver, is undoubtedly the top free agent on the market this offseason. He would perfectly address a huge need for the Chargers. However, the latest news suggests that this possibility might no longer be realistic. Jeremy Fowler reports that the Bengals are likely to use the franchise tag on Higgins if they can't agree on a long-term deal before the March 4th deadline. This move would give Cincinnati extra time to work out a deal while ensuring Higgins doesn't walk in free agency. And it's easy to see why he was such an attractive target. Despite missing 4 games in 2024, Higgins still put up impressive numbers. 991 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns in just the 12 games. That level of production, combined with his size and athleticism, makes him one of the most dangerous receivers in the league. He can stretch the field, make contested catches, and dominate in the red zone. Still, there are questions. While Higgins has been incredibly productive, he's never had a season with more than 1,100 receiving yards. Injuries have also been a factor, as he missed 5 games in each of the last 2 seasons. Additionally, his career high in touchdowns prior to 2024 was only 7, so his breakout performance of 10 scores last season might be an outlier. Although Tee Higgins brought an exciting possibility for the Chargers, the idea of paying him $35 million a year was always a risky proposition. Big swings in free agency are great, but they need to pay off. Unfortunately, the Chargers have a history of making big moves that didn't pan out, so there's hesitation in mortgaging the future for a single player. Joe Ortiz's approach last offseason was a stark contrast to that. He avoided massive contracts, opting instead for short, team-friendly deals that didn't jeopardize the team's cap situation. This year, with more cap space, it stings that the Chargers won't be pairing Justin Herbert with Higgins, but it was always going to be a gamble to invest that kind of money in a player who hasn't consistently delivered at a $35 million per year level. So now the Chargers need to quickly pivot to another option. If Tee Higgins is off the table, the next logical target could be DK Metcalf. The Seattle Seahawks wide receiver is one of the most physically gifted pass catchers in the league. At 6'4", 235 pounds with elite speed, he's a nightmare for defenders. He can take the top off a defense and be a reliable target in crucial moments. One big reason why Metcalf makes sense for the Chargers is that his connections with their wide receivers coach, Sanjay Lal. Lal previously worked with Metcalf in Seattle, and that familiarity could make the transition much smoother if the Chargers decided to pursue a trade. Now, from a financial perspective, Metcalf would likely be cheaper than Higgins in terms of annual salary. But the challenge here isn't money, it's the draft capital required to trade for him. The Chargers have multiple holes to fill, and giving up high draft picks for a wide receiver is a tough decision. They would need to weigh whether Metcalf is worth sacrificing those assets, or if they're better off using their draft picks to build depth across multiple positions. But one thing is certain, if the Chargers want an elite receiver, Metcalf is one of the best options still available. Another big question for the Chargers this offseason is whether they should make a move for running back Najee Harris. The Pittsburgh Steelers star has been one of the most reliable backs in the league, and on the surface, he seems like a great fit. Harris has never missed a start in his 4-year career, playing all 68 possible games. That kind of durability is rare, especially for a running back who takes as much punishment as he does. He's also been incredibly consistent, rushing for over 1,000 yards in each of his first 4 seasons. But here's where things get complicated. Harris has been a true workhorse, averaging over 300 touches per season. Historically, running backs who carry that kind of workload tend to decline around the age of 27, which just so happens to be Harris's current age. The physical toll of that many carries adds up, and many teams are hesitant to invest big money in running backs once they hit this stage of their careers. His projected contract is $11.5 million per season, and it's for 3 years, which isn't outrageous, but it's still a significant commitment for a team like the Chargers. They have to ask themselves, is it worth spending that money on a running back with so much mileage? Or would they be better off finding a younger, cheaper option in the draft? If the Chargers believe Harris can maintain his level of production for a few more seasons, he could be a solid addition. But it's a risky move, and one they'll have to consider carefully. So what's next for the Chargers? Their search for a true number 1 receiver continues, with DK Metcalf now looking like a more realistic option than Tee Higgins. The possibility of signing Najee Harris presents both benefits and risks, especially given his workload. What do you think, guys? Share your thoughts in the comment section.